on the creative side, I just wanted to have some fun object lesson that you could do either as a class or as a family to talk about the importance of families. The Lord taught that He sent us here in families on purpose because it's our best chance of coming to know Him and believe Him and make covenants with Him and get on that covenant path. Families are our best chance. And that doesn't mean all families are perfect, but it does mean that in a family setting, whether it's a perfect one or not, you learn and you come closer to Him. And so I wanted some way to demonstrate that. So there's this ridiculous little game. I happened to see a version of this online once. And you're basically taking a board. It doesn't have to be fancy, you guys. We pulled one off the wall of our garage. It could be a 2x4. You just want something that's kind of flat and it's got enough width to it that a kid could step on it. You're going to put this outside. If you're doing this in a classroom setting, you might want to fill your cup with Rolos or Hershey Kisses or something instead of water. But if you have a chance to go outside to the parking lot or on the grass near the church or outside in your house, like, this would be a great one to help your kids remember. Because anytime you can get them out of their normal environment and doing something weird and fun, your chances for them remembering the doctrine are much, much better. So you're going to have them play the game. The goal of the game is, if you have a big group, like a seminary class, you might divide into teams and challenge them to fill up a vase. So take a vase or some plastic container that they can see the side. You know, you want a clear container that won't get damaged if it gets kicked around a little bit. And their goal is to fill that container with water. The way they do that is to work together as a team by kicking a cup into the air. You're going to put a cup, you want to pick like a nice sturdy cup. A solo cup worked. You could use like a plastic cup and fill it a good maybe 2/3 with water and set it on one end of the board. Then you want some kind of leverage under the board. For us, we use like a thing that's on our patio table, but you could use like a landscaping brick or a cardboard box even. Just pick something that can get wet to work as your, the thing that the board balances on. Then you're going to invite your kids to step on the opposite end of the board. Picture it like a big teeter-totter. What you're doing is you're stepping on the empty end so that the side that has the water on it shoots up. The goal is to be able to catch that cup full of water mid-air. It's a challenge. In fact, it's going to take many times for your kids to get the hang of this. We were out on the deck and the kids went through several iterations before they got the hang of this. But the idea is they'll put that pressure down and the cup flies up and you try to catch the cup and catch as much water as you can because you're trying to fill up that vase. If you're competing in a seminary class, you could do this out in the parking lot and it would be a blast. You're just trying to see who can fill up their vase the fastest as a team. But if you're doing it in a family setting or in a classroom setting, I would just give them a goal as a whole class to do this together and then talk about how they learned. One of the reasons they get better and better at this every time they get up to be able to take their turn is because they've watched everyone else go before them and they watch the people who go after them. So they learn better where to place the cup. They learn how much water to put in that cup. They learn the best strategy for catching it. That's the concept of family. He puts us in a setting where we naturally don't just learn from our own experiences, but from the experiences of people around you. I can't tell you how many things I've learned because I have 6 big sisters that I got to watch be teenagers before me, that I got to watch in their early newlywed years before I was. I got to watch them as young mothers before I was ever a young mother. That's the concept of families. Not just one generation out, but many generations out. You learn from the testimonies and the examples of others, and then you pass that on to the people who will come after you so that they can learn faster. That's a blessing, right? And if you want to reinforce this with some conference talks, you want to go to Elder Boom's talk. He's the one that talked about his parents who were converts, and despite both of them having really hard upbringings, they were these humble, devoted saints who gave him this great childhood, and he talks a little bit about that experience and then references some great songs that you could sing. Anyway, I would go into his words. They're in the creative notes, but hopefully this gives you a chance to testify about power of families. I also think you want to pay attention to the fact that not all the water is caught. In a family setting, just because you're in a family doesn't mean it's all going to go perfectly and everything will go to plan. What the Lord promises is if we as families try, even if you feel like you're the only one trying, He says, my grace is sufficient. Even if there's water lost, He will help fill up. He will help make up for the gaps. He will help make up for what was lost. Elder Boom talks about how his wife, even though she wasn't raised by great parents, she became a great parent. And I think that's his invitation. Understand the value of family and then choose, no matter what your circumstances were, to build a good one. Be a better part of the one you have now and be a great lead for the family that will come soon. And thankfully, because of the experience you had in families in this world, you can do a better job than you would have done on your own.